Welcome to the Grow Rich podcast by Tech Help Canada, where we share the best online marketing and general business tips. Now for today's host.
Hello, and thank you for joining me today at the Grow Rich podcast. My name is Gabriel Nwatarali, and in this episode, I'm going to be talking about why your health should be the number one focus. So this past 2 weeks ago, I stopped working out for about a week and a half. And this has happened to me before in the past too. Every now and then it's been like a roller coaster. I just don't work out because I get consumed by work. And I think this is a challenge for a lot of entrepreneurs. Especially when you're just starting out, you might be working a lot. And because you're working a lot, you're not able to focus on your health. And sometimes I've even heard some people say things like, well, when you're growing, you give up your health. And then when you've succeeded, you now have to fix your health with the money that you have. But I think that's not the right way to approach this. I think the right way to approach this is to make health the number one focus. Like I said, I am guilty of not focusing on my health, neglecting it because I start working a lot. But here's the thing is it affects every level of my output whenever that happens. And that's usually around the week mark. And then I go, what is wrong? Why is my output lagging lately? And then I realize that, oh, wait a minute. I have not gone to the gym for a very long time. Now, it doesn't have to be the gym. For some people, that's exercising through playing soccer, tennis, whatever the case may be for you. It doesn't have to be the gym. You don't have to lift weights, but you do have to be active and do something that you like doing. Some people, that's yoga. Whatever it is for you, do it. But you have to prioritize your health. And I hope that after this episode, I will have convinced you that your health should be number one. So I wrote down a bunch of reasons of why you should be prioritizing your health. And I should be prioritizing my health. And I am doing that. I fall off every now and then, but part of why I'm making this podcast too is kind of like a reminder to myself that I should never fall off. Health should always be number one. Whatever it is I have to do for that day, I have to finish this one thing, whether it takes me 2 hours, 3 hours at the gym. I'm going to do it, and then I will focus on everything else. So the first thing I was thinking about is you can't build if you're always tired. And when you're active, when you focus on your health, when you're healthy, maybe you exercise every morning, you're going to have more energy. And when you have more energy, you're going to be more productive. That alone is a good enough reason to do it. But I wrote a few more things down. There's also mental clarity. Health fuels focus, decision-making, and creativity. I know that when I exercise before I start my day, I feel more creative. I work a lot faster too. It's amazing. I feel great throughout the day. When I don't exercise for at least 2 days straight, maybe 3 days, or sometimes, like I've said, maybe a week, I don't feel as good as I normally would feel if I was working out regularly and being active regularly. And then there's also stress. You see, as an entrepreneur, you're going to deal with stress on a daily basis, maybe on a weekly basis. And having good health helps you manage stress better. So it provides stress resilience. There's also consistency. Good health lets you show up daily. When you don't feel well, or maybe you're sick. It slows your momentum, and you might not be able to. You might wake up in the morning and say, "Oh, you know what? I'm just gonna go back to sleep." And next thing you know, you're waking up at 12 p.m. and most of your day is gone, and you have to rush and get things done. That's not a good way to do anything. So, consistency is a big one. It's a big benefit for prioritizing your health. Longevity is another one, which I've kind of talked about. I touched on it earlier, which is, what's the point? I mean, think about it. What's the point of having success if you can't enjoy it? I mean, what's the point of having success if you can't enjoy it and, maybe spend time with your family whenever you want, be able to go out on vacations? What's the point of having all that success if you can't enjoy it? So while you're building your wealth, while you're building your success, while you're or while you're building your business, your health should be number one. It should be number one, because without it, you really have nothing. And then, we have reduced downtime. I think actually I just covered that earlier, but I'll touch on it anyways. I mentioned sick days earlier, and you have less downtime when you have good health. So when you have sick days, that slows your momentum. And another thing is, when you have good health, feeling strong boosts self-esteem and boosts your presence. And when you have good health, you feel more confident. You walk differently. You walk with you kind of just walk with some confidence on you. And I noticed this as well. When I'm the months where I am regularly exercising, or the times when I'm regularly exercising, I feel better. I walk in a more confident way. I smile. I am much more happy. I notice all that. And these are all part of the reasons why I exercise on a regular basis. And I have been doing that since my 20s. And then, if you have a team, another benefit is if you have a team and you're healthy. The thing is, healthy leaders inspire healthy teams. And if you can inspire your team to be healthy, I mean, you don't even have to tell them. But people who work for you, they kind of follow what you do. Like they take cues from you. And if you're a very healthy person, they might want to adopt some of those traits as well. And that's a good thing. That just helps you create. If you have a healthier team, that means you have a more productive team. It's a very good way to lead by example. And like I said, you don't have to go tell people what to do. Like, you just do you, and most of the time your team will take cues from that, and they'll run with it. And sleep is also another good one, another good benefit that you get from regularly staying active, or just focusing on your health. Rest fuels high performance, and if focusing on your health enables you to get better sleep, that means that your business is going to be better. So better sleep equals better business. The last thing I put down is you are the asset. The thing is, if you go down, the business suffers, your employees or your contractors suffer. So you are the asset, and you need to recognize that. And that means prioritizing your health is ensuring that you can keep going so everything else keeps going. And that's it. That's what I had on my list here. I hope that I have been able to convince you that your health should be number one. It should be the number one thing that you focus on. I've made the mistake several times, and I always pay for it. Maybe I gain weight, I don't feel too good. I always pay for it one way or the other whenever I neglect my health. Fortunately for me, I've been exercising for so long that the moment I hit a week, or I hit a week and a half, I immediately realize, oh, oops, I have not done this, and I need to start doing it. But each time I do that, it's very hard to recover. Now, I end up losing the weight, of course. It's much easier for me since I have more experience, but it's very hard to it's still very hard to recover, because now, for example, if you were benching 200 pounds, now you can't bench that 200 pounds right away. You got to work your way up again. If you were able to, especially cardio is a very good example. If you were able to run for 1 hour without breaks, now you have to start with 15 minutes and work your way up because you spent too long not exercising. But again, I just want to be clear. Exercise is just, I say exercise as in going to the gym and stuff like that, but that's not the only way. You can play soccer. You can play basketball. Whatever works for you, but prioritize your health. That's it for this episode. Thank you for listening. Have a wonderful day.